It seems my gullibility has decided to make a comeback tour. Yeah. Excuse me. I told you about Nixodine experiment. Yeah, as I dug a little bit deeper into it, what I found out is that yes, you may pass a nicotine test. They test your urine. And I think it's called Nixodine or something like that. It's a chemical that tells them you've consumed nicotine. But with Nixodine, you don't necessarily produce that chemical. But it acts like nicotine in your body. And it will constrict your blood flow, your blood vessels, capillaries, or whatever you want to call them. So, yeah, I could fool the doctor, but let's say it this way: I didn't like the way it tasted, and I didn't like the throat head either. So, really not worth doing. If you can fool the doctor, well, you're still going to have healing problems because of the restricted blood flow. I've been through it with my ankle. I was under anesthesia 3 times. I was cut twice. Had to go through wound care. I had a staph infection. I had to be on IV at home. I had a nurse come, I think it's 3 times a week, to look at my ankle and rewrap it. And she helped me do the IV. I had to do the IV twice a day, so it was something I learned to do rather well. Something I don't care to do again. It's no fun being hooked up to an IV sitting on your chair. But yeah, it's not worth it. So I'll just stick with my nicotine. I've been on cigarettes and vaping since I was 14 years old. And I'm 62 now. I'll be 63 before the year's up. I don't want to completely adapt the YOLO attitude. You only live once. No, but I want to make myself. I want to be happy. I want to be comfortable. I think the knee pain is not as hard to take as quitting nicotine would be. It'd probably be like quitting heroin or something. I don't know that it'd be that bad, but it could be. I just don't want to experiment with it. But I do got something for you. I'm drinking a new cocktail now, and it's very legit. It's called high flavanol cacao. I'll show you my bottle. I'm not promoting the company, but it's what I have to show you. They spell cacao like cocoa. See, it's high flavanol. I think it says somewhere on there it's 100 milligrams. Oh, 1,200 milligrams. It's backwards on my camera now. I couldn't read it. But yeah, take a It comes with a scooper in it. I think it's a tablespoon, a little bit more, maybe. Put it in a cup. I squirt, well, they say put a tablespoon worth of MCT oil in it, which that's medium chain triglycerides. It's an oil, no flavor to it. Comes from coconut. But when you drink that, it hits your liver immediately. It gives you energy. You know, it's not like caffeine energy. It's a smooth energy. So I put those two ingredients together, and you're supposed to put a tablespoon of butter in. But I like butter, and I like it extra creamy, so I put 2 tablespoons of butter. And yeah, I got a little mini whisk. I mix it all together until it's all shiny and brown at the bottom. And I add just a little bit of hot water like that. Continue mixing it all up with the water. And then, it's about a cup of water we're talking about. Then you just add the rest of the water slowly while stirring. And it's good for your heart health, your blood flow, and your blood pressure. There's antioxidants in it. And yeah, you're supposed to top it off with a pinch of salt. I forget that half the time myself. I didn't have the salt today. But they say it makes it taste better, which I think it tastes the same either way, with or without salt. But I use salted butter, so perhaps I'm getting enough salt in it as it is. Because I won't eat unsalted butter unless it's like in a cookie recipe or something like that. But then I had a visitor this morning. He was from organization called EANDC Energy Services. What it is a Community Connections and Electric Partnership Program. Well, what that is, they come and do an electric audit on you. Which it's all BS, really. I mean, they give you new LED light bulbs for your fixtures and your lamps. In fact, I got a 100-watt LED on beside me right now. And they're giving me a new, more efficient refrigerator. So that's the good part. It's going to be 2 cubic feet bigger. In actuality, I don't know how much bigger it's going to appear to be, or maybe I'll get a couple more dozen eggs in or something like that. My refrigerator does get pretty full, and so does the freezer. The disappointing thing was this company's out of Akron. And up in Akron and perhaps some other areas, they give you a new stove also. But here in Canton, with AEP, they don't do stoves. So I was really looking forward to getting a new stove because, most electric stoves got 2 big burners and 2 little burners. Mine has 3 little ones, 1 big one. I only have 1 rack in my oven. I think I might have to hit the landlord up to get me another rack because, frankly, I need it. I bake bread. There's a lot of different meats I put in there up under the broiler. And, a lot of times they tell you to put a pan of water on the lower shelf and your bread on the upper shelf when you're baking it. And I usually put it side by side. It gives me a pretty crispy crust. Maybe it's just a little bit harder than what I'd like. I'd like it to be lighter, flakier, but I'm working on that. So I don't have a Dutch oven. That's what you're supposed to bake this bread in. I've got a glass casserole dish that has a plastic lid. So obviously I can't put that in there. So I guess I will cover it with aluminum foil next time. Because I took a cake pan, it wasn't quite big enough to cover it, so I bended it all around and put it on top. I noticed that the crust was a little bit better, but it wasn't flaky and crispy. You know, it was crunchy. It was real crunchy. It's not bad. I mean, my wife came from Europe and she had a never-ending search for crusty bread. Because the bread you buy in the store here is not real crusty unless you get Italian bread or... She was buying some kind of special bread. I can't remember now what it was. Kind of started with a C. There's his 62-year-old memory again. But I like baking my bread. You know, I do it with 3 cups of flour. And I learned you don't pack the flour in a cup because it gives you too dense of a bread. You just put it in loose. And I do 3 cups of flour. I do 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. Mix it up with the flour. I have a sea salt grinder. I put quite a bit of that in the flour because that's where your bread flavor comes from, pretty much. And I add garlic powder. And I think it adds a little touch to it. I put onion powder in it once and kind of overpowered the bread, and it wasn't as good as I thought it might have been. And then you just do your 1.5 cups of warm water, 100 to 110 degrees, a teaspoon of sugar. I do 2 teaspoons of yeast because I like it to rise fast. So just once the yeast activates with the sugar, just pour the water in and mix it all up. Cover it with a towel. It usually don't take 2 full hours to rise, but that's what I give it. And I preheat my casserole to 425 degrees. Then I put the bread dough on parchment paper and sit that into the casserole and put it in for, I think, 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. It's done when it's between 195 and 210 degrees. Just, I wasn't planning on talking about cooking today and recipes. Oh, but the guy that came here to do the energy audit, he was a black guy. Hey, good guy, no issues. But somehow we got to talking about age. I said, I'm older than you are. No, you're not. No, you're not. So he asked me my age, and I'm 62. He says, I'm 72. And he looked like he was in his 50s. When he left, I said, I guess it's true. And black don't crack. And he says, nah, he got a good laugh out of it. And then he says, I've been lucky. Yeah, I've seen black crack plenty of times, but this guy didn't have no wrinkles at all. I was very surprised he was 72 years old, still out here doing this kind of stuff. I guess you gotta work as long as you gotta work. If it wasn't for my disabilities, I'd still be working too. Now, now I'm disabled and I get to struggle by. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Nixodine, the cacao cocktail. Which, I suggest it for, it's good for your heart. It opens up your blood vessels, lowers your blood pressure. There's antioxidants in it. Plus the MCT oil gives you the energy. I have some country style ribs in the slow cooker right now. I'm gonna put them on the cookie sheet and barbecue them, put them underneath the broiler before I eat them. Made a chocolate pie this morning. I buy the kind of pudding you gotta cook. I don't buy the instant. And I get the your normal average pie crust. Graham cracker crust is okay, but it's not my favorite. So, to each their own. I think that's about all I got to talk about today. I'll keep it short and sweet. But next video, I think I'm going to have a question for you. It's a question that I've been having a hard time answering myself. Maybe you won't be able to answer it either. But stay tuned for that. And please subscribe and like the video. I'd like this channel to turn into something. I know I may not be enough on my own to make it something, but if y'all help, maybe we'll make it. So I'll say Godspeed. I'll see you on the next one.